Okay, I'm not going to have any intro because you clicked on this video for a reason, if you did. In this video we are going to go through tips or advice that is you can use it commonly. So if you want specific advice, you can go look at my short videos, but this will be the kind of tips that you can use 100% of the time, and it's especially good for new players. Okay, probably one of the easiest tips and the best one is to look around. I'm gonna keep it simple and just say if you don't, you will probably be flanked. Okay, so the second one is that if you are a new player, please just don't buy top tier premiums. And why? It's bad for you and it's bad for your team. Let's say you buy a, M1A1 clickbait, okay? And you play that and you get absolutely no kills. And this is really common, and that's why I don't like playing top tier, because there are a lot of these brain red low tier players who just buy their way to the top, and I don't like that. And you should also not buy a premium, because I'm not trying to harm you, it's not hate, but as you know, there's a little bit difference of playing for 10 hours and some players have played for 13,000 hours. So there's a skill gap. That's the first. And the second one is that for your team. Let's say there are just some free-to-play player who's trying to enjoy top tier and he can't, because his team that's made of just top tier premiums gets absolutely obliterated by the enemy. And why? Because they just can't play skillful. And I'm not saying that you're bad, but there are a lot of better players out there. So yeah. Another tip is that to use your boosters, because if you are just going to save it and never use it, there is literally just no point of them having. So if you see that you have a booster that is going to expire in a couple of days, just use it, like you will probably get it back from a chest or whatever. Another thing that you need to know is what is your playstyle. You can either be a little light tank goblin or just a heavy tank enjoyer or everything in between. So to find out, experiment with other nations, like Italy has the fast light tanks, Germany has the big heavy tanks, and everything in between. You can test this out, and what nation are you going to main? For new players, I recommend 3 nations. This is the USA, Germany, and the USSR. And why? Well, these 3 are probably the biggest and most fun or easy to play nations, because they don't have anything OP in particular, but they are mainly good. Another advice is that if you want to progress faster through the ground tech tree, then you shouldn't use planes. And why? Well, planes are a great way to get kills, but the RP research point that you get from killing tanks with planes doesn't go to the tanks, it goes to planes. So let's say you get 5 kills with planes or a plane, that's so good, yeah. But then you realize that it didn't go for the tanks, but for the planes. And so yeah, I don't recommend playing planes in ground battles. Also, if you do, you are just annoying. When playing a certain BR, you should make lineups. Now, what is a lineup, you ask yourself? Well, basically it's a line of vehicles with similar battle ratings. So if you die in the, like the first one, you can go with the second. If you die with that, you can go with the third, and it's still better than just dying and launching another match or battle, because then you will just come out without profit. So what I recommend is to put 3 or 4 or 5 or basically just more vehicles in one lineup, so you can maximize your earnings. And learn your weak spots. To kill a tank that is heavily armored, you have to know the weak spot. In a tank there is always a weak spot, but there are some exceptions like the mouse, which if you don't have enough penetration, there is just no way to kill it. But for the most tanks there are some weak spots, and you can look them up. I can show you on the screen. You go to the armor and you can test the armor on different vehicles. Okay, so as you can see, there is the M46. If I want to know where is the weak spot, you can go to here, then here, and right here you can select if you want to see it with the plane rounds or helicopters, then the country. Let's say I want to see with the Tiger H1. just gonna go right here, select it, and if I press X, I don't know what it is on PC, you can see where I can shoot to penetrate it. This is mostly accurate, not always, so yes, it has some flaws. As you can see, if I shoot where it shows, I can penetrate it in fact. Yeah, there are some, you can see these little spots, like, they don't always work, but they do most of the time. So yeah, you can see each vehicles, and you can also try them on a angle. You can see right now, if I shoot here, I don't penetrate. If I shoot here, I kill the whole tank because I hit the ammo. Yes, and another thing is that to memorize where the ammo is, because that plays a big role in taking out tanks with one shot. Because if you use rounds that don't have HE filler like this, as you can see, it penetrates the tank and then explodes right there. So if you have a tank that doesn't have this, you should shoot for the ammos for a one shot, one kill. Okay, now for our last tip. This tip is not for gameplay, but for just the war game. If you get angry, just don't play the game. That is the best advice that I'm going to give you. If you get frustrated, just play something else or do something else. There is not much to say about this, or just play custom battles if you really wanna play with the game. And yeah, if you are angry, you will have worse performance, and you will just get more angry, and this just goes on. Okay, I think that was it. If you want more of these tips, as I said, you can go to the shorts feed and you can take a look at my short videos. I'm still doing this little series. Well, it's not going to be long, but yeah, I'm doing it. So yeah, and if you're a new player, well, welcome to Warthunder. So that's what you should look out for. And yeah, if you have any other ideas for content, or if you want me to play a vehicle, just tell me in the comments.